Over 100 years ago, the groundwork for public radio broadcasting was laid in Madison, Wisconsin. By 1917, those with radios in their homes used the technology to get upcoming weather forecasts and time checks, all through Morse code. This all began to change when Earle Terry, a physicist and professor at the University of Wisconsin-Madison, brought a group of colleagues together to listen to the radio before beginning the first transmission of live audio from the campus, broadcasting over the experimental 9XM callsign radio station. His guests at the time were described as being uninterested, not realizing the utility of a music broadcast when record players could accomplish the same thing. With the infancy of the vacuum tube technology used in the transmitter, it was not ready to begin full-time broadcasting. In April of 1917, upon entry into World War I, the United States government assumed control of the radio industry and shut down many civilian broadcasting stations, including 9XM, which went dark until the conclusion of the war. Terry's 1917 transmission paved the way for the beginning of regular audio broadcasts in 1919, and 9XM received a new callsign designation of WHA in 1922. These broadcasts began as voice weather reports and continued for many years. Unlike many other radio stations at the time, its focus shifted towards educational programs rather than music. The station utilized its connection with UW-Madison to pull professors and other experts to talk about their fields on air. WHA struggled with government licensing in the early 20s and the financial difficulty of the Great Depression later in the decade, and in 1930 the state of Wisconsin began providing funding to keep it operational because of its educational importance. The Wisconsin School of the Air provided broadcast curriculum targeted at grade school children, and the station also offered new educational content on government, agriculture, and homemaking. The unique educational mission of WHA set the standard for public radio broadcasting across the country. William Simering, a Madison student who grew up listening to the Wisconsin School of the Air broadcasts, went on to work at WHA in the 50s and would eventually go on to be NPR's first program director after its founding in 1970. WHA would end up being the flagship station of WPR, a member of NPR, in 1971 when it was created from a conglomerate of Wisconsin radio stations formerly known as Wisconsin Educational Radio. While the status of WHA, or 9XM, as the very first audio broadcasting station in the country is disputed, including by Earle Terry himself, who gave the credit to KDKA out of Pittsburgh, it was certainly one of the earliest. Its close connection with the University of Wisconsin-Madison gave it unique expertise which it shared with the less educated Wisconsin populace when it first began in the early 20s. WHA contributed uniquely to the landscape of broadcasting as a whole in the United States and set the standard for the educational value of radio, decades before NPR.